Massachusetts, studying nursing at UMass Amherst. On February 9th, 2004, she crashed her car into a snowbank in Haverhill. Multiple law enforcement search efforts have focused.
Maura Murray. 7 puzzling clues that don't add up. 21-year-old nurse February 9th. Maura Murray crashes her car on a desolate mountain road. Witness approaching, woman refusing help. Empty car. Investigators believe this phone call is the key to everything. If we knew what was said, February 9th, 2004. Now let's jump to Monday. February 9th. Calculated. She sits down at her computer and sends a series of emails. First, she emails her professors. When police contacted Maura's family days later, they were shocked. Death. Murray had no idea what she was talking about. So why lie? Why create a fake family tragedy? She packed clothes, toiletries, textbooks. Why pack for suicide? She withdrew nearly all her money. Car back on the road to keep driving. Some automotive experts have offered. In fact, she crashed her father's car just days before and had been driving this Saturn despite its problems. Alternative theory. There's even a third possibility that some investigators have considered. What if someone else put the crash 7:27 p.m.? Hours later, when her car crashes and police examine the vehicle, they find something revealing. Car interior, spilled wine, strong smell. The box of wine has been opened, coherent. Faith Westman, witness who called 911, Faith Westman, who watched from her window, said the same thing. Maura was moving normally, not stumbling. Clue number 5, the scent trail that vanished day after disappearance. Search operations beginning the next morning when it became clear Maura was genuinely missing and not just a runaway college student. Police brought in a resource that's usually very reliable in finding missing persons. Search and rescue dogs, K9 units arriving tracking dogs, specifically cadaver dogs and scent tracking dogs trained to follow human trails. Dogs being given Maura's scent from her belongings. The dogs were given items from Maura's car, her clothing, her belongings, anything with her scent on it. Dogs at crash site, starting to track. The handlers brought the dogs to the driver's side door of her Saturn, and immediately the dogs picked up her scent. Dogs moving east along Route 112. The dogs began tracking. They moved confidently east along Route 112, following Maura's trail along the side of the road. They tracked for about 100 feet. The dogs were certain. The scent was strong. Maura had walked this way. Dogs suddenly stopping, confused, and then nothing. The dogs stopped. They circled. They tried to pick up the scent again, but it was gone, completely gone. The handlers were puzzled. Tracking dogs don't just lose a scent like that. Not after only 100 feet. Not unless something very specific happened. Experts in scent tracking say there are really only 3 ways a scent trail disappears so abruptly. Reason number 1 appearing. The person got into a vehicle. When someone gets into a car, their ground scent stops immediately. The dogs can't track what's not there. If Maura got into a vehicle at that spot, that would explain the sudden end of the trail. Reason number 2, appearing extreme weather destroyed the scent. Heavy rain, snow, or wind can disperse scent particles enough that dogs lose the trail. Weather reports from that night. But here's the thing. The weather that night wasn't extreme. It was cold, around 30 degrees Fahrenheit. There was some wind, but nothing unusual for a New Hampshire winter night. The crash happened at 7:27 p.m. Dogs arrived the next morning, less than 12 hours later. The scent should have still been there. Reason number 3 appearing. The person crossed water. Water disrupts scent trails. If Maura had crossed a stream or river, the dogs would lose her. But investigators checked. There's no stream, river, or water crossing at that location. Just road, snowbank, and forest. So we can rule out weather and water. That leaves option 1. Maura got into a vehicle. 2 scenarios appearing, but that raises 2 very different possibilities. Scenario A, planned pickup. Someone Maura knew was following her or waiting for her. When she crashed, she walked 100 feet down the road to meet them. They picked her up, and they drove away together. This would explain why she refused help from Butch Atwood. I already have help coming. Why she seemed calm and coherent. She wasn't panicking, just waiting. Why she took belongings with her. She was meeting someone she trusted. Scenario B, random encounter. A stranger drove by, saw a young woman alone on a dark road and offered her a ride. Maybe they seemed helpful at first. Maybe Maura was desperate after refusing the bus driver's help and thought this was her only option. Or maybe the person didn't offer. Maybe they took her. Both scenarios are possible. Both are terrifying in different ways. In one, Maura left willingly with someone she knew. But then what happened? Why hasn't she been seen in 20 years? In the other, Maura encountered a predator in the worst possible moment. Alone, vulnerable, on a dark road. 100 feet. Then into a vehicle. But whose? Clue number 6. The red truck witness statements, police reports. While police were investigating the scene, something kept coming up in witness statements. Something that was seen by multiple people but never explained. A red truck. Let's map out the sightings. Sighting number 1, timestamp 7:30 p.m. Around 7:30 p.m., just minutes after the crash, a witness driving through the area reports seeing a red truck near the crash site. Sighting number 2, timestamp 7:35 p.m. At 7:35 p.m., another witness sees a red pickup truck parked just past Maura's crashed Saturn. The truck appears to be idling, like someone stopped to look at the accident. Sighting number 3, timestamp 7:40 p.m. Minutes later, a third witness sees a red truck driving slowly away from the area heading east. Police investigation notes, when police collected these statements, they immediately tried to identify the vehicle. In a small rural area like Haverhill, there aren't that many red trucks. Someone should know who owns it. Investigation hitting dead end. They couldn't find it. The red truck was never identified. Questions appearing. Who was driving that truck? Why were they in the area at that exact time? Why did they stop near Maura's car? Where did they go? Theory 1, innocent local resident. Maybe it was just someone who lived in the area, saw the accident, slowed down to see if help was needed, then continued home when they saw the bus driver had stopped. But counterpoint appearing. But if that's true, why didn't they come forward when the case became major news? When Maura's face was on TV, in newspapers, when the FBI got involved, why didn't this person say, "Oh, I was the one in the red truck. I just drove by and left"? Theory 2, the planned pickup. What if the red truck was the vehicle Maura was supposed to meet? Someone following her from Massachusetts, or someone she was planning to rendezvous with in New Hampshire. Following timeline from Massachusetts, they could have been trailing her the whole drive up. When she crashed, they couldn't stop right at the scene because witnesses were already there. So they parked a bit past the crash site and waited for Maura to walk to them. Maura walking toward the truck, that would explain the 100-foot scent trail. Maura walked along the road until she reached the red truck, got in, and they drove away. Theory 3, wrong place, wrong time. The darkest possibility. A predator driving through the area sees a young woman alone at a crash site. Vulnerable, isolated, an opportunity. Maybe they drove by once, saw her refuse help from the bus driver, realized she was alone. They circle back after the bus driver leaves. Approaching Maura, they offer help. "I saw your accident. I can give you a ride to a gas station, or my house is just up the road. You can call for help from there." Maura getting in, uncertain Maura, now desperate and cold, accepts. She gets in the truck, driving away into darkness, and she's never seen again. Police continuing to search for truck. To this day, police have never identified the red truck. They've interviewed locals, checked vehicle registrations, followed up on dozens of tips. The red truck remains one of the biggest mysteries of the case, and potentially the biggest clue. The red truck, multiple witnesses, zero identification. Clue number 7, the contradicting destination evidence found in Maura's car now for the final clue. And this one might be the strangest of all because it suggests Maura had no idea where she was going, or someone was deliberately misleading investigators. When police searched Maura's Saturn, they found printed MapQuest directions. Remember, this is 2004, no smartphones, no GPS. If you wanted directions, you printed them from a computer. Direction number 1, Burlington, Vermont. Maura had printed directions to Burlington, Vermont, a city about 2 hours north of where she was. Direction number 2, the Berkshires. She also had directions to the Berkshires in western Massachusetts, a mountainous region popular for skiing and hiking, maps showing all three locations. Here's the problem. She crashed in Haverhill, New Hampshire, which is nowhere near either destination. If she was going to Burlington, she was on a longer, more complicated route when there's a more direct highway. If she was going to the Berkshires, she was driving in completely the wrong direction, north instead of west. Hotels, reservations, bookings, police checked every hotel, motel, bed and breakfast, and vacation rental in all three areas. They searched for any reservation under Maura Murray's name or any of her family members' names. Nothing. Phone calls, contacts. They checked her phone records for calls to businesses or people in those areas. Nothing. Big question appearing. So where was she actually going? Theory 1, she was lost. Maybe Maura wasn't familiar with New Hampshire geography. She printed multiple directions because she wasn't sure which route to take. In the dark, on unfamiliar roads, she took a wrong turn. But problems with this theory. But Maura was an intelligent college junior. She'd been to New Hampshire before with her family. And Route 112 isn't a road you end up on by accident. It's a specific choice. Theory 2, she was meeting someone. What if those printed directions were red herrings? What if someone gave Maura different, unwritten instructions during that mysterious phone call? Don't tell anyone where you're really going. Print directions to other places to throw people off. Then follow my verbal directions to our actual meeting spot. Hidden destination concept that would explain why she was nowhere near Burlington or the Berkshires. She wasn't going there at all. Theory 3, secret destination. Some investigators believe Maura was headed to a cabin, vacation home, or secluded property in the White Mountains, somewhere that wouldn't show up in hotel records. Checking property records, police checked known family properties. Maura's family didn't own anything in that area. But what if she knew someone who did? A friend, a relative of a friend, or someone she'd met who offered her a place to stay. 20 years later, still unknown. 20 years later, we still don't know Maura's actual destination that night. Was it Burlington? The Berkshires? Somewhere else entirely? Or was Route 112 exactly where she wanted to be? Destination 3 possibilities. 0 proof. Conclusion. All 7 clues appearing as a list. 7 clues. 7 mysteries. Let's review what we know and what we don't. 1. The phone call. Someone devastated her 4 days before. Who? 2. The email lies. She created a fake emergency. Why? 3. The rag in the tailpipe. Suicide attempt. Mechanical fix. Planted evidence. 4. The alcohol. Was she drunk? Meeting someone? Sober? 5. The scent trail. Vanished after 100 feet. Got into a vehicle. Whose? 6. The red truck. Multiple witnesses. Never identified. Connected? 7. The destination. Printed directions to 2 places. Crashed near neither. Where was she going? Puzzle pieces that don't fit together. Individually, some of these clues could have innocent explanations. But together, they create a puzzle that doesn't fit. 3 main theories appearing. After 2 decades, investigators and internet sleuths have proposed 3 main theories. Theory 1, voluntary disappearance. Maura planned to vanish and start a new life. Theory 2, tragic accident. She died in the wilderness and hasn't been found. Theory 3, foul play. Someone took her, either planned or opportunistic. But none of these theories explain all 7 clues. There's always something that doesn't fit. Maura at 21, age progression to 42. Maura Murray was 21 years old when she disappeared on February 9, 2004. She would be 42 years old, 42 today. Contact information appearing. If you have any information about this case, please contact New Hampshire State Police. Cold Case Unit 603-271-2663. The Maura Murray Family. Website, mauramurraymissing.org. Someone somewhere knows what happened in those 7 minutes. Was it planned? Was it random? Was it tragedy or crime? Engagement question. What do you think? Which theory makes the most sense to you? Which clue do you find most disturbing? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe animation. If this case captivated you as much as it did me, please hit that like button and subscribe. I dive deep into unsolved mysteries, true crime, and cases that need answers. Thanks for watching. And remember, 20 years later, Maura Murray's family is still searching, still hoping, still waiting for answers. Maura Murray missing since February 9th, 2004.